front a little closer. We've just got ourselves out here watching the sunset. Beautiful timing. There it comes right over the horizon now. Lovely view, actually. Yep. Back of a new place I got the other day. A wonderful. I might have to turn the game up. Is it too quiet? I had a 10 decibel gain filter applied to it. Oh, we've got a trampoline here. That I could get on it. But we do have one. Could be a dockyard down there. You can see the boat. We have bunkers? Oh. I believe I walk right past those. Walking out over here onto the imagine having a backyard like this. Right. Well, welcome to Finland. Pip's been sitting quietly over here waiting. Thank you very kindly. Today, I don't really know. I figure there's a couple of things I want to do at the moment. I wouldn't mind going on a hiking trail, and I'm going to take a couple of shots at some birds. You know, nice if they didn't block the doorways with trash. I can't even clean this place up. It would be a really neat interaction if you could just walk up to trash on the ground and clean it up. They do that stuff for missions, but I guess because that's a static world object. I personally wouldn't even care if it resets every time you come back. I'm weird like that. I think it'd be nice. A little bit of homeliness, cleaning up some of these more messy reserves. What have we got? Avontuli Coast. Well, you're not going to pronounce any of this correctly. An air guitar championship. And there's the map with all of the hiking trails. Now, I think it was, I don't think yesterday, I think it might have been the day before, I did the blue hiking trail. Takes you around the, basically it's around the central hub. Right now, where are we right now? We're on the red trail at the moment. I think I might finish the red trail and we'll take, or are we on the white trail? I forget. I think we're on the red trail and I want to finish it and go down to that island. Head south. In the east. South it is. Off we go. Our first shot of the day. An Eurasian teal. Checked off the list. You probably do see we've got quite a lot there that we haven't snagged yet. I've also never found or run across any signs of what a raccoon dog is. I don't know if it is like a possum raccoon type thing or if it's a coyote type thing. Mountain hare I've found, but they're tricky to catch because they all run away by the time you get anywhere close by. And there's a couple of those... I never know if the P is silent or if the T is. Ptarmigan, I'm gonna go. The willow ptarmigan, and a couple of ducks that I haven't got. The bean goose I've also missed entirely as well. Are we on the red trail? I got too carried away walking. I didn't see any signposts back. That's not... Oh. Apparently he's more scared of us than we are of him. We good? Maybe he was in a resting zone and we can actually get that spot marked. As for now, we're just going to keep it nice and calm. I will be looking for the last $9,000 to get my Coachmate 4570. But I'm going to see if I can manage that through other objectives. A couple of side quests. Primarily, the one I want to finish would be the Observer quest line. Take a photograph of every animal. Where was he? Anything? I'd think a bear would leave a fat footprint in the grass, but apparently not. Maybe he's further up. Oh, there he is. No. Links. Sometimes I can't tell if the game just doesn't want you to scan a zone, or if there actually is nothing to scan. I mean, I know there is... I'm sorry, what? Ah, that's a bit louder. I've been trying... I don't know if the audio is broken. I've been turning this audio down, and it doesn't seem to do anything anymore. This setting seems broken. I have no idea. I'll turn it down to 20. The bear was eating. There we go. Thankfully it didn't... Oh, looks like it almost finished. If not completely finished, and it didn't feel too territorial about its food. So... I'm heading south. Westerly. Maybe I'll... But I haven't seen any hiking trail. I would have imagined the hunting lodge would connect up to a hiking trail, but... So far, it doesn't seem to have. I mean, you had the tourist board there that told you where all the hiking trails were and everything. Although, to be fair, the generous lack of you are here's, so maybe it was less of a plan your day board and more of just a map. Still, so long as we keep heading south, we should find some kind of dockyard and get onto the main island, off the main island, onto the southern one. And maybe that's where we might find the raccoon. No idea. Got its own private little island. This one's pumping through. That was the lynx we heard earlier. Pretty sure we've already got a lynx. We have got a moose, brown bear, white-tailed deer, a lynx, tufted duck, a hazel grouse, a western capercaillie, a Eurasian widgeon, Eurasian teal, Canada goose, black grouse, rock ptarmigan. So many birds in this. It's surprising that just hearing a flock of birds take flight, looking up to the sky and taking a photo, you can still catch one you haven't before. Less about looking for specific species and just hoping you find the right one when you run across them. What I heard of? I'm hearing lots of birds. There it is. To this day, never heard a raccoon dog. Seen one. These are all the birds I heard. I have no idea where they went. There's one flapping over here. Touch down a little bit. And I thought I heard a goose. Probably a mallard. That's what the raccoon dog sounds like. Whatever. I wonder, do we have lures? I have no idea if they're predators or not. They're anything like, well, regular old, what are they called? Trash bandits? Continue on to see if we can find the boatyard. I swear I heard a ton of birds nearby. And I think I heard a mallard to the north. A very duck/goose sounding noise. But that was a bit further away. Oh! Yeah, you're allowed to follow. Wait for my commands. Come on. That was very close. That actually kind of startled me. I don't see anything though. mallard is a duck, isn't it? Mallard duck. You would think it would have a fairly distinct noise against all of these other ptarmigans and field birds. What? Raccoon dog. Mountain hare is going to be a tricky one. That probably might end up being the last one on the list. Because the rest are all birds. Oh, there is a goose. There's a grey-lag goose. And a bean goose. So there's quite a lot of waterfowl that I should be finding, but I've not seen any. There's a lighthouse? They look like a lighthouse. The boatyard. Find out where it takes us. Pretty sure the island should be off. That might be it. All the way over there. He's just on the road. For a game. He was watching us before we were watching him. That was a willow ptarmigan. Again, I'm not gonna nail any pronunciation. I can get white-tailed deer, black-tailed deer, roe deer, and red deer, and there you go. I know my colours. But when you get to like species with fancy names like this, not a chance I'm gonna be able to say them. Honestly, it's not as miserable as I thought. We are fairly down south. Apparently we're on the southern coast somewhere. There are mountains to the north, but I was thinking this would be a lot more frosty. Yep. So, another one off the list. Might actually finish this list sooner than I thought. But there's disturbed vegetation, right there. That's the stuff you cannot detect. Oh, Pip, you're gonna trample the tracks. That's the stuff I can't detect without a perk. I actually need to go into here, skill, and this one, it's a tier 4 skill, Disturb Vegetation. It was a new track type, animals sometimes produce these in between other tracks, makes it easier to follow the trails of difficult animals, and it was the third type, when combined with track knowledge. Is this one up here, there was information about third type and investigate vegetation. So, it does kind of suck, just having to wait to be able to get certain types of track. I can see that. I know what that is. Something's run through here. It's not the important one anyway. The important one you want. Need zone. So if you can see certain telltale signs, if they graze, that there's a certain feed zone for that. If they're predators, you will see either bloodstains or corpses left behind. If they're smaller predators, you'll see rabbits shred to pieces. Having said that, the predator need zones seem to be a bit more fluid. I've never been able to nail down a predator trek. Actually, it seems like every day the predators will change their location. A goose. I knew it was a goose. Honk like that. Sadly, it doesn't look like these ptarmigan. Oh my lord. Oh, gaggle the geese. Startled them. More gaggle the geese. Oh my lord. What are you? Lame goose? Nothing new. The shots anyway. Thinking we'd find a need zone here. But it really doesn't seem... Ah, there we go. Is that close enough to a need zone? Where's the actual needs? There it is. So this dead looking grass here is what foragers leave behind. Walked right over it without really... Looks like you've got more here. Here. Foragers leave behind dead short grass. And that's their feed zone. A lot of animals usually leave the same drink zone behind, which is tiny little footprints in mushy mud places. And resting zones, I think, are the same for a lot of animals too, because it looks similar to that disturbed foliage back there, but it's larger and more squished. Right, back down to the boatyard. So, quest list. Is that 3 left? The bean goose, the mountain hare, and the mallard. Oh, and there's a goldeneye, but it's not showing up for some reason. Bean goose, mountain hare, mallard, and goldeneye. All I know about the goldeneye is that it's a type of bird. I haven't been told much more than that. So, at the rate we're going today, we're definitely going to snap up the last of these. Bean goose. I really do feel like it. I was about to say I feel like the bean goose is just going to be dumb luck, same as the goose we just found. More of a stumbled into it accidentally and snap a photo. Actually. Honestly, as has been most of my luck with this server questline. Moose? That's a green dog. Okay. All sounding creatures. But there you go. My first order. Oh, maybe the other thing was a. Not the slightest clue. Yeah. Okay. We'll continue. Lighthouse is actually a fair ways away, yeah? A moose. If it weren't such meh weather for a photo, that would actually be really nice. Maybe I have been hearing them. I just never noticed. They honestly sound like moose. I'll think for a tiny animal to be able to say. It could be like early morning, and this fog, this haze, is really ruining what could be gorgeous screenshots. I'll still take it. Better to take it and feel meh about it than to wish she had later. Kind of a nice phone. Gonna be able to sneak around him too well, though. Come on, Pip. He just does not care. Wow. Oh, game froze. Oh, come on. Game, please. Oh no, I thought he might have been tame. We got closer than I thought we ever would. Just waltzing up to him like that. Luminous fog. Making things a little awkward. Photos of. But either way, down to the bottom of the island. More disturbed foliage. I guess that was a bad move. We already got the feeding zone since we managed to scan him actually eating. There's another outpost. There's fancy 4G tower. That could just be a regular radio, actually. I think 4G has like a big plate at the almost like a construction site. Boya's office is facing the wrong way and you can't even get inside. That noise. I really wonder if that's the GoldenEye. I don't know what they sound like. I know they're a bird, and that's the only bird noise that I cannot seem to be able to find anywhere I look. Traditional Finnish custom of leaving open every boot you can. I do find it very amusing. I seem to have just imported the cars one-to-one from Generation Zero. Normally there'd be loot in those. They did enough effort to remove the loot, but you can still interact with the cars, which is... That's... I mean, the only assumption I think I can make. What was that? A mallard. So, one goose, a golden eye, and a hare left. Let me get under that. Nope. I'm sorry, excuse me? No, you... bless you. What's the Finnish number for 911 and how do we put a report in against the lamppost? Watch this. It's either bulletproof or dead. Measure. they do that? Terrifying. Okay, right. Let's get on a boat and get off this hell lands where the lampposts are trying to murder everyone. Possibly. They're at least sentient. They move. Do we have a boat we can use here? One out there. These ones better not bloody move. What's it at a weird angle? Oops, they're gonna snap when I get around here. Ah, why? Why would you snap back? This is freaky. Change my mind, I don't want to go to Finland anymore. There's a rowboat over there, which is probably the one we're taking. That one doesn't have oars. I'm not taking that one. Swim. Right. There's the rowboat. That doesn't have oars either. Where's our boat? Are we not allowed into the lighthouse? Alright, I'm checking my... So, we are at the wrong dockyard. We have to head further west in order to get to the dockyards. Well, that's fine by me. Getting the hell out of this sentient lamppost hellhole. I swear, if I start seeing lampposts randomly just behind me when I turn around, I'm gonna... We're switching games. If they start following me, we're switching games. Having a bloodhound is great, but when can we get, like, the dog that would just... I want a bigger dog. Can we get a dog that can take on a lamppost? That would be lovely. Rottweiler, but twice the size. Back to nature. At least the trees here don't randomly pivot to say hello. Arms. I'm going to,
Don't drink and say, drink water and milk. Else your bones will be weak. Like in Skyrim, water is health is fuck bitch. You better drink water, drink water, drink water, drink water, bitch. Drink water, drink water, drink water, bitch. Drink water, drink water, drink water, bitch. Drink water, drink water, drink water, bitch.
Good morning, Sparkle. In under an hour? Probably not, but if you are on later, I might switch games. So, I think that's the island I'll be. No wonder the rest of Finland doesn't have any lampposts anywhere. I was thinking it was quite odd. It was the first place I'd ever actually seen, like, metal lampposts and modern life, I suppose you'd say. And they all start rotating. Look at me. Because they killed the rest off. the last remaining section of lampposts left in Finland. It's one of these gorgeous towers, too. Oh, I never saw that before. These are slightly lower resolution. Remember, I did turn textures from like ultra down to understandable. Thank you for the hydrate, Sparkle. I don't know how long exactly you'll be on, but you'll be in the nest. John would be home soon, but apparently. So, I don't know. I suppose I can switch games 7 days to that in a little while. There's the boat we're taking. Well, we can't feed any other animals. What do we have left? Bean, goose, mountain hare, and goldeneye, but for some reason the goldeneye is not being shown on the list. Oh, that's a house just over the other side of that island. We have a dock there and I can just boat across. Well, let's head south. I don't think the island to the south has its own lookout point, but if it did, I'm sure we'd be able to see it. It's not a tiny island, but I don't think it has a lookout point. I think this would be the lookout point that encompasses the... It'd be nice to have an outpost over there. But with one so close to the north, I don't think we would. Oh? Ah, I was wrong. We have an outpost, an unknown... That's another boatyard. Boat. And I guess there is a lookout tower there too. Assumedly, be right there. This will be the end of the red trail. After this, I suppose we can track back inland and pick another trail. Mind going further up north. I don't know what climate the goldeneye is in, but I haven't seemingly found anything to the south. We could go northeast, which is less frosty, but northwest has mountain, snow. That's what is there. Where's Pip? Pip doesn't want to come.
Turn left.
Oh! Welcome in, Gradgar. It was over left. Over on the island to the south, I'll have to remember that's where the boat is. Unless we actually... You know what? We could actually start on the white hiking trail and pick up the house on the way home and back around over here. That's a plan. Oh, there's actually another boating area over there. Another horror place there. Mark that. There's actually quite a lot further west. We're almost at the most eastern part of the map, but maybe we will take the other boat back. We'll go get the outpost, and we'll head west instead of north. I don't know what hiking trail we'll end on, but I'll be aiming for the white hiking trail back to base camp. Do you go? Oh, what are they? Goldeneye. Come on, game. Stop doing. Oh, there you go. I crossed the Goldeneye off the list. We now only have 2 left. Food, a bean goose and a mountain hare. We're not going to find a mountain hare in some tiny little rocky island outcropping. But we'll at least grab the 2 points of interest. There's actually a path apparently right. Yeah, say. Very wishful thinking. Oh no! Rocks made of dirt. And it is dirt. We'll have to keep an ear out for a goose, and to be fair, maybe heading up into the Frosty Mountains won't be so bad because we can find those mountain hares up there. How many birds down here on this island? Doggo's name? It's Pip. I was thinking of calling him Pippin, but I just went with Pip. It's a shame you can't have 2 doggos. I'd like to get like doggo. Doggo fighting duo. Doggo crime fighting duo. Well, that's how you say it. That what a Goldeneye sounds like. I still, like, just snapping photos of them flying away doesn't really tell you what they look like. But that him there, under that bush. There he is. Look at him waddle away. Oh, he sees me. I'm not here. Completely hidden. Hello. That point's over there. We've also got something flapping in this direction. So far it doesn't sound like there's any goose. Not a goose? Not the goose we're looking for. Is that a duck? I think about it, didn't sound like a goose. For some reason I can still hear some... Yeah. The moment I look, of course, the noise stops. There this goes. Not a goose. I'm watching on my phone to make sure the quality doesn't drop. I just realized I have it on super low resolution. I thought the bitrate was tanking. So just my phone set to like 140p. I was watching trees come past in single pixels and I was like, oh, that looks terrible. Podfin Strait. That's where we are.
The islands here were used as a temporary and natural harbor for sailors. While they waited for their ships to leave, they carved their names into the rocks. It's basically very old graffiti. Some of the carvings are from the 16th century. Fascinating. Cave art graffiti that tells us how the strait was used by humans 400 years ago. But what separates this from today's graffiti? Is it the amount? The motive? Or is it just age? That it somehow needs to be forgotten and rediscovered?
Oh, they've actually modded it onto the rocks. I think we can go see. Have a look. There it is. That homunculus in a jar, or is that a crest of homunculus slash dinosaur? Don't blur out on me. Rating his texture quality here. Come on. Why would you blur out? Okay, there you're back. I'm back. What a good photo. You're terrible to work with. Okay. I do want a photo of the homunculus, but I don't want a photo of it when it's all... Come here. Behave. Doesn't want to behave. It's like the light on him determines whether or not he loads in properly. Oh, there's actually like a proper quest. Got a mana. Austin. Do they do more over the other side? Doesn't appear so. And somewhere along here should be a button we can press that. Not a bad morning's walk. In the game, 1 hour in real life. Made our way through most of the red trail and hopefully we can head west and pick up a couple more points of interest. Maybe find our way to the white trail back to main camp. It's the Norwegian coat of arms. It would be either. You would either phrase it as a family crest or a coat of arms if it's for a nation or a fiefdom. But then I suppose it comes down to how you phrase it. Because if you were to say the Norwegian royal family coat of arms, crest, the Norwegian royal family crest, it would. I suppose that depends whether or not those two things differentiate. I imagine when it comes to ruling nobility, a lot of the time you would have them interchangeable. Having not looked into it whatsoever. Oh, this house is blue. Decorative logs with houses. Or bee box. No, they have the twig, their birdhouse. There's so many birdhouses. There we go. A brilliant walk. Imagine that. From sunrise to 9 in the morning, you would get to this cabin and you could cook breakfast, early lunch, and then be on your way. I don't think I need to stock up on any. The haze is intense. I don't think I've ever played a map where the haze was this... What do you call it? On my eyes. The haze makes me want to squint. I don't know if there's a word for that. Here we go. So, this is the remainder of the red hiking trail down this way. Put our phone away. Actually check the proper list here. We have mountain hare and bean goose. I have no idea where bean goose normally nest or what their habitat is like. We did have a goose here on the island, but I don't think that's going to be the bean goose. We already photographed a goose further inland. I forget what one that was. Grey lag. We already had Canada goose, the grey lag is what we got today. I wonder if our luck catching birds this morning has had anything to do with it being super early in the morning. We started our trek at about 5 in the morning. Whatever it was, we've already got it. The Norwegian crest is the same as the royal family crest. Different. The House of Glucksberg is pretty much all Scandinavian crests mashed together because they lived all over the place at home. So which one was the one we were looking at? Was that the Norwegian state coat of arms or the Norwegian royal family coat of arms? It would be a family crest, wouldn't it? Not a coat of arms, because the coat of arms is more like military sounding. It's associated with the nation. At the very least, that seems how I've heard it used predominantly throughout, well, throughout history. The family crest, where you have like the kingdom's coat of arms. So. We were looking at the Norwegian state coat of arms. There you go. Apparently, the Norwegian state came over and said hello to Finland at some point. Here's our boat back. Should take us... Nothing new there. Where is this taking us? Over there. Actually quite a distance. Alright. There's Pip swimming. That was quite a distance, wow. Here we are on the other side. Does that actually map the way across? No, there's no actual map. You just magically teleport. Oh. So is this the red trail or the white trail now? You're still on the red trail. We'll have a fair distance to hike, actually, if we want to go all the way up north, so I think... I wouldn't mind completing my snapbook. On a photo of every animal, we're missing the mountain hare and the goose. The bean goose. Oh, I suppose... Goose have to be somewhere around all the lakes. I really do wonder if it's just a time of day thing. I think I need a cup of tea. When I get to the next outpost, we have one actually further up here. We keep following the red trail. We should reach another outpost just a little bit to the north. Where... It was the outpost where I was planning to then diverge west. White pup. Are they pine? They don't look like a fir tree. What other trees are common to Finland? moose. Okay. It's not exactly what you expect to see after you hear a Eurasian lynx. Think a lynx, tiny little cat-like thing? You see a giant buffalo bounding across the horizon, you're gonna think differently about what you might have just heard. But, nice photo. Now that the morning's actually cleared up, we're into mid-morning now. The haze and the fog has sort of backed away. Oopsie, is he? Completely zoomed in on my lens there. I really want to finish my scrapbook animals today. Goose. The game could not. I don't know what causes it or how to stop it. So. It sounded like a honestly, it did sound like a goose that time. Oh, these moose were probably grazing, weren't they? Should we go back and try and find where they were grazing? Or was it a resting zone? There was a lynx over here too. Gonna get trampled. It's grazing? No. How many animals are in this area? The raccoon dog resting zone. Here. A large set of traps. I'll put through. But I don't see... The moose haven't seemingly left behind anything. It's all these tiny animals. Oh, there's the moose steps. Oh. This way. Ah! Oh. That's the same raccoon dog resting zone that we found just before. The moose apparently just didn't leave any track. They didn't graze, they didn't... Oh, there we go. Whose is that? Asian lynx resting zone, I guess? Even though it doesn't say it. Lynx were over there. I've not seen anything that looks like any of these animals were grazing. There's foliage here, but that's the resting zone we just found. And if we head further north to where the moose were, it has to have been a grazing zone. I just can't see any. No evidence that they were here other than that they just walked through. Over the... Not going on an adventure. I have no idea. We actually did get 2 need zones out of it, but I'm just so baffled that the moose weren't here for apparently any reason. Oh, we are close to water. Maybe they were heading to a drinking zone. In which case, I would have completely interrupted them. I didn't even see where they came from. Just ambiguously from this direction. From the west.
Run, Moosey, run.
Long gone, thankfully. Last thing you want to do is have a moose think that you're a threat to it. This game is thankfully fairly forgiving when it comes to that. If you make a lot of noise, animals run away. If you sneak up on them and go boo, you get your face bitten off. Sounds reasonable, I suppose. Probably not too far away from how animals in real life work, but... Even when it comes to bears eating, they don't get defensive of their food or anything. Wolves do. So I don't know if this is actually modelled properly off of animal behaviours or not. Because wolves will 100%, if you find a pack eating, you're done. Like, you just need a lot of bullets and a lot of luck to close your eyes and just hope they don't chase after you too far. It's a goose. Not the goose we want, though. Does a bean goose sound different? Lucy isn't even a word? It does pretty good at handling gibberish. I've tested up to and including the pss, 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 cat noise, which it does not understand. That's where it starts breaking, when you start typing like 15 character gibberish. We got trample tracks here. What trampled through here? Is this with the goose that we just saw? Can't pick up any of this. Ooh. It is a feed zone for the goose. There you go. I should double check how much I made text this
Ollie
week.
Ollie oxen free.
Yeah, actually. That one was impressive. Oh, curve was at it and it handled it superb. That thing just took it in stride. Text-to-speech cost 100. You don't have to do an awful lot. Like a follow was 100 points, I think. Just so that you can't have people randomly appear and type presence non-stop. It does have a price. I figure that would be the safest way to stop people abusing. Well, no, it's fairly easy to abuse because there's no restriction. It just stops people randomly showing up and typing things that could, you know, get anyone in trouble. I think. I'll have to double check. I know sometimes while testing I set the price super high. I don't know why. I just remember that I do sometimes set the price super high while testing out new things that I'm adding. Pretty sure I set it to 100. Text-to-speech is challenging you? You heard him? I did not. just a red marker in case you think you're lost. Did I see you had Project Zomboid? I do. It's been on my wish list. Actually, one of the older games on my wish list out of all 700 of them. I think I was 2014 when I had a group of friends start getting into Project Zomboid. And I kind of held off. I was like, yeah, it looks cool. Back then, having been burnt by Daisy standalone, I was like, I'm not gonna buy anything on Hype Train, even if friends are playing it. And then within the year, friends stopped playing it. It didn't have multiplayer anyway, back then. And everyone moved on. Then the multiplayer update came out. They had the massive, it's like a 20% sale. But they had the massive boom in popularity with that sale at the same time. I guess it seemed like a good a time as any. If it's still getting updates this... Oh, I say that, right, if it's still getting updates this far into its future. At the same time, it's more about what the updates have done, and I think what you're actually paying for. Because I do think it's a decent game, so I picked it up during the multiplayer update hype. Another goose, but it's not going to be the bean goose, is it? That far away, I don't even know if it would count. Trying not to suck at Project Zomboid. It's not going well. I feel like sucking at it's part of the fun. I treat 7 days... 7 days to die. Yes, I do treat Project Zomboid like 7 days to die. I give myself a lot of room to maneuver, so I don't make it impossible off the bat. One of the things I think is probably good to do with Project Zomboid is to get rid of the contagion, stop the random damage giving you the infection. That alone gives you so much more survivability just defending yourself in combat without having to resort to firearms. Past that point though, like you can make it as... The challenge should be self-inflicted as opposed to the game just being brutally oppressive, but that's just how I play them. The same with 7 Days to Die. I will set 7 Days to Die as basically peaceful, no zombies spawn, but then it's just permanent blood moon. If I can't get myself prepared in 7 days, I die. There you go. Okay, so you can have that one for free, Debs, so you can take that, advertise with it. But, I mean, I play both the games the same way. You sort of give yourself that leniency, and after that leniency period is over, that's when things start getting oppressive. But you should be equipped to actually play, quote-unquote, to actually play the game by that point. Because you give yourself that short bit of leniency to actually get equipped, to get to some kind of prepared state, instead of out of the box Project Zomboid and out of the box 7 Days to Die, you can just be beaten before the first blood moon in 7 days. Or just repeatedly murdered time and time again in Project Zomboid before you even find a way to settle down. Keep the infection reduced at the bite, not blood contact, and the zombies down and still die. I turn the infection off completely. Like, if I'm gonna die, it's going to be because I get killed, not because some random arbitrary status effect says you will die in 7 days. I don't even know if cures are part of the vanilla game. I know I've seen a bunch of people that play Project Zomboid with roleplay elements. Charbor, Cricken... Who else was there? Charbor, Cricken... I don't think... Chief was in that group, but there were a lot of people part of this, like, private server that were just doing their own thing. They would play a character, and that character would have the whole story arc Beautiful ending to that, actually. I don't know if he ever uploaded it to YouTube, but Charborg basically murdered the entire server after doing a bit for an hour. And there was a massive setup for it too, but it just went wrong. He thought, oh, it'd be funny if I throw a Molotov cocktail and that's how my character dies. Instead, the whole room set on fire, and he murdered the entire server. So... I know they would have like a self-inflicted system. It wasn't so much getting infected by game mechanic. I think you would just... They did something else. There was a way to cure it. It was basically, I think if you got bit, then you had to isolate for a certain amount of time in a room alone. It was something that amounted to like a couple of minutes in game. That's how they dealt with the infection. There was no in-game infection, it was just if you got bit or whatever the case, whatever they set up. They put you in a room, sat you down, and if you survived, question mark, then you got to come back out and you weren't infected. But they would talk about it like it was a cure, like there was an antidote involved in that situation. So I don't think there actually is in the game, but... I mean, it would be neat. To go back to my original point 10 minutes ago, I think it'd be neat if there was an antidote. With how few people are left alive, I would even think it'd be neat if there was like a generous amount of antidotes in populated areas that just... No cures in vanilla. That's what I did think. I figured there were no cures in vanilla. Do you have a resting zone here? You have a bird over there. This is the resting zone. What is here? Something is here. A raccoon dog. Oh, shoot. Get down. I just realized what we're hearing over there. It's not a bird, it's a rabbit. We can get our mountain hare. This far down to this coastline yet? Bizarre. I don't even see the warren. I don't even see their home. Over the other side of that hill. I might set up camp here. We'll see if we can find their home. We'll set up camp and I'll go make a cup of tea and wait for them to come out. No, there's a resting zone here somewhere. We'll find where this raccoon dog sleeps. I'll put it... I knew it. Mountain hare, but where? I don't see him anywhere. I just hear him. At first I thought it was flapping. I thought it was like a bird trying to take off just below the tree line. But I don't see that den. Oh. Already got those ones. Alright. I'm just gonna walk up, find the den. Hopefully the raccoon dog's sleeping place too. Although with rabbits here, is he actually a predator? Do you think he's here to hunt the rabbits? Oh. Oh, is this a resting zone? No. Come on, Pip. We gotta find a rabbit den warren. What do you call a rabbit? Is it a rabbit warren? I'm gonna find a rabbit hole. I'm gonna sit down next to it. I'm gonna wander up and make a cup of tea. When we come back, we're gonna see rabbits and we're gonna... The joke is meant to be we're gonna shoot them. I keep saying take a photo, because I just keep forgetting my own joke I'm running with today. We're gonna shoot a rabbit with this Nikon DLSS camera. Hey, 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 stay away. Still don't see their home. Be nice if a player could get to max first aid and then be able to cure it. Like, there is no cure, but Hawkeye, a mixed survivor, and his bone soul could be able to. That's an interesting idea. Like, a player that actually manages to get that high level after 15,000 hours grinding for it, mind you. But putting in all that effort, actually getting that far, and maybe you can synthesize a cure. You just invent it yourself. It'd be a neat little idea, actually. A way to quote-unquote beat the game. I mean, you still have to survive. You can still be physically moited. I really don't see. I'm going with Rabbit Warren, and I don't see it. I don't see where they live at all. We'll go over to where we heard the first one, which is over here. Oh, we might not see the Rabbit Warren because of the feed zone. Alright. We can do some light tracking. We can actually track where they went, where they go home to. If we can find out where they live, we're gonna go sit there, and we're gonna wait until they pop their heads out to go eat again. I wouldn't imagine they travel very far, though. Birds over here. Alright, let's see if we can track one. The Bloodhound's probably not going to be too good at tracking a live animal. And unfortunately, I don't have anything that can really let a rabbit run away. Most of my armament's too big for those. So, good old-fashioned tracking. See what we can get away with. We have at least one track, which is all the way back over near the road, wasn't it? Third. Here. You ready? More bird tracks, but we want the rabbit. I need to find out where they went, where they live, because I want to. Again, forgetting my engine. I want to shoot a rabbit with my ESL. I'm going shooting today, want to call the wild. I'm equipped with 12mm barrel, interchangeable cartridge. So this is poop. This doesn't even help us track the rabbit after all that. We found the track and we can't even do anything with it. There are quite a lot of birds in this. Oh. Alright, well, dog just trampled that way, so we can't. This is one of the reasons I don't like having the dog, because they trample everything. But some tracks here, I don't know which ones are the rabbits, because we also had a raccoon dog right now. I think... putting 2 and 2 together, I think it went that way. Open this way. I'm gonna head back to where we had this second group of thumps, which was this way. And we'll see if we can't find anything continuing its path over here. Looks like my cup of tea will have to hold off, as we're not going to find the rabbit warren for a while. Okay. I actually have to find rabbit tracks first. Last known animal. I don't even have the last known animal anymore. Oh, there's a moose rest zone. Not that that helps us, but
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
not failed yet. The rabbit's been grazing here? Or have we already got this zone? I should still be able to pick. No, because that's too thick. We should still be able to scan it even if we have. Alright, where did we hear the first thump? On a track here. Don't see what they're. Oh, yes, I do. Yeah. Wrong tracks. I'm committing. We're heading this way. We. Water. I thought I saw a rabbit. A rabbit warren? A rabbit warren? I thought I saw a rabbit hole. Can't tell if it's just the grass betraying me. Is that a rabbit hole? Yes, Pip, you can follow. Doesn't look like it. Just the shading playing tricks on me. There's a bear nearby. The rabbits were in here 7:30 to, so they technically are done with that feeding zone anyway. Moose. We might just head home. Feed zone. Didn't look at the feed zone. I know rabbits are in the area. I can come back and sit still and go make my cup of tea and wait for them to come out to the feeding zone tomorrow morning. So we might set it for something like 8:30. I think the feed zone said it started at... Oh no, okay, we'll set it for 7 in the morning. And I'll go sit over there, make my cup of tea, and when I come back we'll just wait for the rabbits to come. No hunting pressure in the area, so we should be... The worst thing is when tracks have gaps between them and you can't actually tell what way it goes. Especially when you don't have disturbed foliage yet. Oh, it's a big one here. I really wish disturbed foliage wasn't tier 4. I am so far away from unlocking it. Do you play this much? This is my 3rd save file on the game. I had a couple of 100 hours put into the game when Africa released. It's Savannah. Sound wrong. It was Virunga Savannah. When Virunga Savannah released, I loaded up the game, did the first mission, and then before I realized this was even a problem, I quit the game to load up a multiplayer lobby, but I hadn't received the next quest, so my hunter mate was just blank. So of course, when I loaded back into my single-player quest storyline, the hunter mate was blank. I had no quest, because I saved and quit while that was the case. So, I lost like 200, 300 odd hours in that save file on a max level character. That kind of hurt. And then I looked up the problem, found out what caused it, and realized my mistake. After resetting, I downloaded a backup tool and started backing up my saves after every time I quit. But then it happened again anyway in Park Fernando. As I was going through Park Fernando and questing and trying to complete it all again, same problem. Either I don't remember if the game crashed or what the cause was, but same thing. Save and quit before I actually received my next quest and brick the whole level on that. So, take 3. Here we are. Probably only 50 hours into the 3rd save. I know my first save, the full character save I had, I was like, I think I was at level 60 or it was like, I definitely got all of my points. But I forget if there's a level cap. I had like some really good stats on that save too. Where's the bed? I think my longest shot was 429 yards on that save, and the best I've matched since is 309. My longest shot, I think, was actually from Leighton Lakes off the top of a bridge. At basically render distance. If it wasn't off the top of the bridge, it wouldn't have been that far away, but... no, hang on. I can't actually... I was about to get up and go grab my cup of tea. Not just yet. Need to prep ourselves for these rabbits. Let's see. Back the way we came. Even put a marker down for it. Not too far. Shouldn't have to worry about scaring anything. A jog. I think what I'm gonna do, I want to head over here and claim this lookout tower. And from there, we'll decide what we want to... There's the main base camp. The white trail should be... That should be the white trail then. Yeah, so we could just follow that back up north. That's so... There. I almost want to take this one. There's no connector down here. We have the boat ride over here from the outlet tower. So head over there. The tower to outlet tower. And then we take the boat across the river and head... Oh. I think the action is probably perfectly fine to actually be this close. So, I'm gonna get prone over here. We're just gonna wait. hope nothing bigger than a rabbit finds us. About the ground. Lay down. And this. And we have 20 in-game minutes. So, I've got about 6 before I'm needed back. I'll throw on the other AF screen I've got here. Let that play. I should be only 6 minutes. I'm just gonna go get a cup of tea. By the time I get back, there should be some rabbits. Hello. That was a little longer than I expected. What is the time? It is 8. Do we have any rabbits? Has there been any activity, or am I in the feeding zone and scared them away? I don't see any movement. Oh, it does say the feeding zone is right across the road. We might even be a little too close. Over the other side of that crest. No. That's the road? Slightly difficult to see dirt pathway. However, I don't see or hear any rabbit. Even after standing up, there's no warning thumps. Not good. I don't want to do this over again, so I might just keep moving on. There is a chance there might be an overlapping need zone nearby. We might go down to the lake to the north and see if there's anything near there. We don't have to be too afraid of scaring them off. Sorry, let me get rid of the be right back screen. When it doesn't play music, I mean, even when it does play music, I forget, but... Looks like there are no rabbits. Maybe the dog definitely didn't help. I feel like Pip lying down is fine. Sometimes I do wonder if Pip has just like a giant AoE deterrent. Because I cannot go fox hunting with Pip around. The foxes seem aware of my presence no matter my skills and perks. Up to like 140 yards away. But I guess that's the thing. You're not an ambush dog, you're a tracking dog. Go have a look and see if we can't find any rabbit tracks down by the water here. You're no thumps. You can get fairly close to rabbits before they thump too. They're one of the easiest animals to catch off guard. See if we can't find the tracks. And the only other animal we need is the bean goose. I don't know I see any tracks. No tracks leading to or from the water in the slightest. Oh well. I don't know. That was a feeding zone. We are well into halfway through the feeding zone timer. And I don't know if they normally... Like, rabbit warrens and... yeah. Another one. And another one. What are we tracking? I don't know, because the rabbits were feeding, whether or not they've trekked a far distance away from their home to do so, or if they live close by. Foliage, and I can't pick what it's for. There are so many raccoon dog tracks in the area. I don't understand. I went from the first day playing this... Moose. The first day I played this, I went from finding basically none of these animals to finding all of the ones I'd never seen before, non-stop today. I had no idea what a golden eye sounded like or looked like. I had no idea if a raccoon dog was a coyote type or something else. I heard the moose up ahead. Move on. Staring at the ground. There's not really much point. We'll see if we can find what the moose were doing. It'd be nice if the dog could stop trampling stuff. I mean, side by side it's fine, but it is kind of annoying when you have to be in front of the camera 24/7. Why did developers do that? I don't want to stare at a dog 24/7 just because I have one. Every video game dog ever is like, I must be on camera. The coding tells me to be in front of the camera. It's fine if it's close by, that's all that matters. For some reason, all of these video games seem insistent to show off these video game dogs. Where did the moose go? It wouldn't be such a problem if the bloodhound didn't trample tracks, so when it's in front of you, it is actively detrimental to you tracking things. It's fine though, if you have a blood trail, then it just goes off on its own merry way, finding everything. But when there's no blood trail and you're genuinely tracking, it should be behind. I said all this out loud and now it is. I don't know if I've just never noticed because today it's been worse than... Somehow we've turned back north. We were looking at the moose. We're gonna find a whole lot. Should be a resting. It looks like one. It's not even of a moose, it's of this damn dog. There's the moose track. That's a walk. The rest of that track. If it's walking, this is before we started it. Maybe we can catch need zone was. Not sure. Another walk. I think the rabbits. Yeah. It's disheartening not finding any fruits from any of our efforts though. been lovely having Pippa's company while hiking. So long as we're hiking, I don't mind, but... Okay, put her back in the kennel. Especially while we're hunting hares. I think maybe it might actually be beneficial to have a bit of peace and quiet about. Another dog. Genuine pest. Can't walk anywhere without finding tracks left by one of these now. A moose. I think that was them heading back to where I scared them the first time. We have a house. So we were trekking east to the house where we were then going to trek west over to the lookout point that's over here. So I think we'll just go back to the house. We'll put Pip away. And we'll go look for rabbits. Since we know rabbits are close by, even if we just go back to following the red trail, I think we're still on. Maybe on the odd chance that we have to run into some hare, we can... Speaking of hare, loosely speaking, other forms of white meat, I found, and well, I pulled out from my freezer the other day what I thought was going to be marinated chicken. Oh, marinated chicken sounds lovely. I'll have that with eggs on toast on the side. As it turns out, it's not chicken at all. It's red meat. But I don't normally buy marinated red meat, unless it's some kind of mince or pulverized steak. Definitely not pulverized. And I definitely don't buy marinated steak. But that's what it looks like. So I have no idea how to cook this, because of course you can't cook chicken like you would sear a steak. It looks like a steak. Like it's got... It could... I don't know, could it be marinated pork? I might have bought some marinated pork. But I've got this whole dilemma now where I have no idea what's actually in my fridge covered in this red marinade. What's this house? I got lost. This way. It is. That was way too far west. It looks like a steak. It's marinated like I would buy anything else but steak. But it has rind, like it's got a rind of fat. So, I mean, short of scraping the marinade off of a piece and actually getting a look at the meat underneath, I have no idea. The thing that's catching me off guard is that pork and chicken are usually visually distinct, but this doesn't have the same look at all. Got a mystery piece of meat that I didn't know about. Defrosted, waiting to be cooked, and I'm too scared to cook it one way or the other. I mean, the fact it literally looks like a steak, so I figure I'm just gonna sear it. But I have no idea why I bought a marinated steak. If it was with the intent to trick myself a month later when I defrosted the thing, I mean, job well done. But it looks like, it It honestly looks like a plum marinade. Some kind of plum... A deep red. Cherry red almost. And I normally do get pork plum. Not chicken. So there is a chance it might be some kind of pork cutlet. Maybe? Another thing I've really never planned for buying in the butcher before. I'll be sure once I find out one way or the other. But when I do find out what it is, I'll let everyone know. Post a photo of whatever abomination I've defrosted into the Discord. No matter what it is, I figure I can cook it with mashed potato and boiled vegetables. Fairly safe bet for side dishes. And then even if it is a pork cutlet marinade, it's fine. If it's chicken, bit weird, still fine, maybe add gravy. If it's a steak, beautiful. Steak and mashed potato is actually one of the things I grew up on. Again, gravy at your own leisure. Yep, I'm sorry, but while we're rabbit hunting, I have to stay home. Now, technically we're heading west. We're going to go to the lookout tower. Then we're going to head northwest to the following lookout tower. Boat across the lake to the north of that. And that should bring us to the orange or the white trail. I forget which one. We could take the ATV out, but I mean, doing this stuff expediently, kind of against it. Normally, if I was just collecting that's the mentality that immediately kicked in. It's like, oh, I'm collecting waypoints. Might as well get the ATV out. But I'm also hiking. I've not done these trails before. We've almost finished the red trail. Although, to be fair, we started the red trail from... Where were we this morning? We started the red trail from here. This is the outpost we ended on. We were staring out towards the sunset when we started. Along all the way down, we found lamppost hell. Realized that was the wrong place. Rode it along to the island, across, north, and here we are. It's still apparently the red trail. So all the way from here down across this island and back up is still the red trail. Which is surprising me, because I believe the map ends the red trail once you get to the island down the south. But we still have markers for it, so keep going until that tells us otherwise. I don't know if we'll... We should end when we get back to base camp. Whether or not we have the last goose and the last hare. What a duck. I don't know what that is. More dog. Oh, a fresh cup of tea. Let's drink that before it goes cold, shall we? Forgot I left to make this while we were watching the hare. Sadly, nothing came of that. It would have been really nice if there was a rabbit that showed up while I was gone. tracks here. It's something other than a raccoon dog. We got a Eurasian lynx in the area. I think I'll be glad to get out of this place because the only thing I've seen so far is the damn dog. Oh, birds, to be fair, but... moose and tracks everywhere from the raccoon dog and nothing else. I'm gonna go back to hunting deer and bear. I'll have to keep an eye out where the lookout tower is so I know where to turn off. Although, if these hiking trails are actually set up properly, there should be a signpost that tells me where to turn off. Look at that. That's back down to the bird dogs where we came from. Taken us a while, but we did our loop. More disturbed foliage here. Protect. You can see it plain as day. Can't interact. So the duck-ish sounding things are the ptarmigans. I guess if the red trail does diverge back there, like, because it shouldn't loop on itself, but it seems to. The red trail connects up and then joins to that outpost. And the outpost has the red trail markers right out front of it. So, now that we're on the main road, I imagine we're not on the red trail anymore. We may not have any hiking trail markers then to turn off, but hopefully, if we cross another hiking trail, it'll tell us, at the very least. If anyone hears a rabbit thump, let me know. Was a thought. This game would be phenomenal with VR. I feel like it's gonna sound silly though. I don't live anywhere like this. I live in the middle of nowhere, countryside, but it's all farmland. There is nothing where I live that's this gorgeous. It was one of the reasons years ago that I genuinely wanted to save up and move to Scandinavia. Was to get countryside like that. Back to my original thought though, it wouldn't be so evil to attach this game to a VR kit. And if you... I know there's omnidirectional treadmill rigs that can let you actually walk, but they're not exactly easy to get. More of like a university tool to this day, I'm pretty sure. Tool? Toy. More like a university toy. We've got bear in the area. First time I've seen a bear in a while. Even if you could get used to the motion sickness side of movement in VR, even a regular treadmill with the VR kit, so long as you change direction with one of the Joy-Cons, you don't have to change what direction you're walking. If you're always walking forward, the only mental catch you have to process is not tripping over as you try and step left or right, because you're on a treadmill. But I think that would be a brilliant... It would be brilliant to experience that if you don't have access. I mean, think of it like a tourist simulator. I want to go to Hirschfelden. I want to go to Leighton Lakes. I want to go to Africa, honestly. Like, all of these places that you can visit. And just actually hiking. Now, Finland is the first one with hiking trails, but the map is no different. Finland has markers and colours that tell you where you're going to go and what roads to follow and how to get to your destination. So the blue trail is the centre of the map. We followed the red trail today. So on. They lead you on an adventure in an isolated sort of experience. Attaching that to physical exercise and a VR kit so you can actually like gawk and look around and it's 3D, not 2D, you know? I feel like that it could have some merit to it. For two reasons. One, even I don't have access to places like this, and I'm fairly remote. And to follow through on that a little bit, these places are just gorgeous. It's gotta be more motivating to walk here in Finland than it is to walk around City Block 12 with Skyscraper 17 looming over you. This has to be more motivating to get people to go out and exercise. But I suppose that's a self-enforced motivation, right? You have to want to do it in the first place. The nature aspect and being out here, I say out here, as I'm sitting at home in a damn chair, but you get what I mean though, like, if I entered the lottery and won 10 grand, I'd be motivated to try and get this thing working, you know, in a treadmill set up on VR. I've not shot a single... Well, okay, the joke was meant to be, oh, I'm going out shooting, and then I pull out my camera. But we've shot a lot of photos, we haven't actually gone hunting. And you don't have to in this game. It gives you such a gorgeous environment up front that I think it just happenstantially gives you hunting mechanics. First and foremost, you're just given a map. I think that's one of the reasons that they included the camera with the base game, is because you just find beautiful places you want to take photos of. I've got a couple of settings turned down. I'm not going to turn them up to showcase anything, but this game looks phenomenal on Ultra. And you don't need a super beast computer to do it. If you're running a 1080p screen, a 1660 NVIDIA GTX or the equivalent will get you there perfectly fine. That thing's, what, 4 years old now? I will admit that there are drawbacks to running on Ultra. This game doesn't stutter if you run on Ultra so much, but it will eventually... There's like a point where it will have a bit of stutter and then it goes back to normal. I've not figured out why, but they even say here in the settings, if you go under texture resolution, if you experience occasional stuttering, because it's like a known thing with the engine, it will run smooth, but then it's like it just hemorrhages frames for 4 seconds, and then it's back to normal. No idea why. But, I mean, my CPU is 10 years old. I've got a 1660 Super. Running this on Ultra has its drawbacks performance-wise, but it looks so damn pretty. And if you're out here snapping photos, you beat me. This place in this game is so gorgeous. Admittedly, it's a bit of a cash cow these days. Every DLC map costs you like $5.99 US. Every DLC pack costs $2.99 US or something. So on and so forth. And the dog costs you another $5.99, I think. All that aside, the base game comes with the 2 largest maps in the entire package. I lament that the maps have been getting smaller. I say smaller, but it was really like the base game just went above and beyond, and ever since then the standard has been dripping a bit lower and lower. But the map size, to be fair, has always been what they listed as 25 kilometers squared for the map. From Medved Tiger, which was the 3rd map, all the way to Revontuli Park, they've all consistently been the same size. It just kind of sucks. I say that. We've been tracking for 3 hours. They're still not tiny maps. But it's interesting to contrast that against places like Leighton Lake and Hirschfelden. Hirschfelden takes you like a whole day to get from the bottom of the map to the top. If you don't have outposts and fast travel locations, you're in a tough spot in Hirschfelden. It's actually a chore to travel that map without fast travel. And I think that's why they've lowered the map size, to make it less of a chore and to find that middle point where the maps still feel big, but not so big that you dread going north, you know? That first time you ever have to travel north in Hirschfelden, it's fine if you're taking in the sights and taking it at your own pace, but if you've done it a few times, like I have, you start getting to the point where it's like, I just want the fast travels option, please. It's not. It's a long track, but when that's my only complaint, I don't think you can say that's a con to the game. It's a chore you do once, and then when you're up north, you grab an outpost, and you have the fast travel location. Costs you nothing to use, just fast travel to an outpost. I can do it right now. We've got the outpost we were just at, fast travel. Outpost we started at today, fast travel. Once you have them, it's free, and you can do it at will. But you can see, in 2 days, almost 3 days of having played through Revontuli Coast, I've got most of the east side of the map outpost-wise complete. I don't have to do anything fancy, there's no superior amount of effort, it just feels... I'll say this, the map size I don't think is the problem, because I would be fine with smaller maps if the quests weren't deteriorating over time. Finland did kind of pick up the game a little bit. I know a couple of previous quest lines, Mississippi was one. You had the main quest line, which was a great story, brilliant story, but then that's it. Quest line over, you never hear from anyone ever again, there's no side quests, nothing. You just beat the story and you're done. Map is yours, congratulations. There's no more quests, there's no more dialogue, there's no more story content to pull you into that map. It's just complete, you beat it. It's one of those external versus internal motivators things, because I do love external reasons to go do an internally motivated chore. I'm going to explore the map either way. Getting paid and talked to about the history of a place while doing that just sweetens the deal tenfold. It adds the external motivation to make it less like a chore and more like I'm actually more like I'm actually on a tourist hike, so to say. In this case, that's quite literally what they did. I mean, we've got the welcome, open camping outpost, leave your luggage, try the pastry, and then that was it. Then we started the only, well, Finland has got better because we started one of the only missions the game had. Start a trail, follow the blue trail. You go to blue trail, there's a lookout tower. Follow the blue trail, pick up the mosquito repellent, follow the blue trail. Follow the blue trail to the sauna, collect the rocks, collect dry birch, place the rocks on the furnace, and then you rest in the sauna. Follow the blue trail. This one I went out of my way to actually do. I think this was a side quest. I think. But it was travel to target location and shoot the challenge target. I did all of them but one, Iron Sights. And I'm proud to say I did the final one, Iron Sights, because, in a little bit of spite to the guy here in Finland, he said, "Can you imagine doing this without a scope?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can," and took the scope off. But then follow the blue trail, use the boat, and then you're back to the main town, which is where we're planning to end up today. That was it. You know, we've gone the exact opposite direction we were meant to go. That main road we passed ages ago was actually meant to be a turn off. Ooh. So we are just headed straight back to the main map. Oopsie daisy. Maybe, okay, plan B. We might fast travel back to main base. Maybe we'll take the left turn here, go back down through the assumedly orange trail to the lookout point. Don't know. That might be this place here. Could be an outpost. I don't know why it's highlighted. But we were also going to take the boat ride here along this coast. I can do that later. We won't do that today. But, yeah, to its credit, Finland did give us extra stuff to do, even if it's just giant checklists of things you can do. Or, you know, harvest a gold or better. Like, at that point, you're competing with the multiplayer mission section, which is just do X thing. Harvest a silver, harvest a gold. In a vital shop, collect 10 harvests. Okay, the photograph one was nice. I do appreciate having the option to not go hunting, and that's part of the reason I do like questing. Because quests seem to have a fairly decent split, 50-50, in regards to actually having you hunt versus having you go out and just an animal, find out the health of an animal. There's a scientist, I forget his name, there's a scientist in Hirschfelden who's actually there trying to conserve and maintain the bison population who are struggling to adapt after being introduced. So he has you out there all the time, making sure that they're fine, they're healthy, making sure that all the females of the herd are not struggling to get along, that the herd itself is cooperating with each other. All these really neat quest things that just teach you about the animal as opposed to just take a photo, take a shot, visit location. At least Finland did something else, because like I said, the previous map was Mississippi Acres, and that was just the main quest. Brilliant story! Beautiful story! I'm not recommending you don't play through it if you do like the quest content. It's a brilliant quest line. But that's it. There's not even like a side quest or a second group of characters that contact you and are like, hey, it would be pretty cool if you could join us for this thing. I mean, I will admit, I absolutely loathe Connie's questline from Hirschfelden because I have been bricked on her questline. Not literally bricked, it's not a hard lock. But I've had an animal spawn soft lock where she said, I want 2 red deer at night. And I could never find them. They seemed to just not spawn. What made it infinitely more difficult is she was locating a specific part of the map. She wanted red deer from a specific location to check on something. They never spawned there. It took me almost a year to realize that they weren't spawning there because I had hit my maximum red deer population elsewhere on the map. There's quirks to the game. But I think the memories you make are the extreme situations this game puts you in. It's either going to be that time you spent a year doing one quest, Hirschfelden has a few of those, for me, or it's going to be the times where you get surrounded by wolves and quattro colinas and had your ankles bitten off because you didn't equip anything large enough to deal with them. The rabbits. Like, rabbits don't normally squeal like that, unless they're herd. No, don't. Right as he dipped and ran away, too. That would have been a nice photo. It's a mixed bag, because I love the game, and I wish you got a bit more. But it's an easy sell. I could quite easily say, Christmas sale is coming up. This base game normally goes for about $5 US. I think it's $5.99 on sale during Christmas. And that's an easy sell, because the base game gives you infinitely more value than any of the DLC sold since. I will say that definitively. The base game gives you tons of more quests that'll keep you busy for dozens of hours alone. You get 2 locations, Hirschfelden and Leighton Lakes. Both of those, twice the map size of what you would get in any DLC content. You get more characters that talk you through different aspects of a reserve and how things work. They not only serve as the tutorial and starting point, especially Hirschfelden. Hirschfelden being the place that gives you... What's a campfire? Hirschfelden is a place that gives you access to actually properly play the hunting part of the game with your starting equipment, the 243, which I actually do think I have here. The 243, and I think you get a 270 Stradivarius? I think. Not sure. Almost thought it was a goose. People 3. You get, if you go to the cache, if you go to the supply box. Hey, we're in the white trail now. Good. When it comes to the hunting part of the game, every weapon has 2 types of ammo. I do not have a way to showcase this because I burned through all of my pen ammo in preparation for switching over to the Coachmate 4570. But I've got soft point here, and you can see they grade it with numbers, penetration 15, expansion 17. This is pin ammo. It has no expansion, but it hits hard. There's a use case for what you actually have equipped, and I've heard so many stories of people that play the game and they think a gun's a gun coming straight from every other shooter on the face of the planet. So they just pull out their gun and they shoot the animal and don't realise that they've got a soft point round and they just hit it in the head and now it's angry. A good example I actually used to explain animals are way sturdier than humans. And the good example I use to explain that a bit more in context is this tree right here. If an animal sprints through this tree full speed, it snaps a twig off. If a human sprints through this tree full speed, it gets scratches and bruises and all sorts of nonsense. You probably have a twig sticking out of your arm. Animals are made of sturdier stuff. There's a reason leather is an armor for humans and not just an extra layer of skin. we wear leather padding to protect ourselves, and animals just have leather padding naturally. So I know, I've seen it, and I've heard the stories of people dropping into this game and just going, oh, I got the 243, I'm gonna go out and shoot the biggest animal I can find, and then they do, and then they get confused when it just runs at them. Even larger deer, and this is where I was going to go into explaining, every ammo type has a category. They buffed it. It used to be a lot harder, but they've buffed the ammo categories now. So 243 is graded from fox, small deer, or wolf and large dog, or canine, all the way up to large deer. And I think when it comes to the top tier, there's probably going to be a fine print that says soft point, the expansion rounds are not going to be as effective. Because the animals themselves will also have their own grading. Higher tier big deer is less likely, you know, you have to take into account, it's basically a numbers game. But the old way, the old system, the one I heard all these horror stories about, it was fox, small deer, and pig, and that's where it stopped. It was like 243, your starting rifle, was just horrid. Which is why Hirschfelden was such a good starting zone, because it gives you pig, fox, and small deer. The entire bottom half of the map is entirely fallow deer, which was like a category 2 deer. It was like that slightly bigger than roe, but not so big the 243 couldn't do damage. So you had fallow deer, roe deer, boar, and fox, and your 243 is just designed for Hirschfelden. Now you can go up to the North Mountains in Hirschfelden and you can hunt everything but bison. Even red deer can go down with a 243, and I think it's probably fine to make it a bit more beginner friendly. But it feels, to me, I miss having specialty kits. Having something pulled out for the occasion rather than just the jack of all trades. I mean, when it comes down to it, the 243 is now only missing 3 categories or 4 categories of animal. It's missing rabbit at the bottom, and I think it's missing bear, elk, or bear, moose, and I think bison is the last category. So it's the jack of all trades now. You can take it all the way through Hirschfelden. You don't have to save up for the 270. And the 270, when you took that out, was such an upgrade. Because it could then hunt red deer and bigger things. It got your next stepping stone up into the world. I think it's fine. It's become more about taking out what you want to use instead of taking out something for the occasion. To be fair, it wasn't super realistic before. Still. I got a bit carried away there, explaining how ammo works as to why Hirschfelden is a brilliant place to start at. It's still a good place to start at, because your 243 can now cover the entirety of Hirschfelden with exception to the water bison, so water buffalo, up in the north. Maybe here? to mention, talking about value for money was the base starting point that I was moving from. I think the base game is fine. For $5 during a Christmas sale, even if you completely ignore the hunting and the leveling, you only ever get one camera. You don't ever get camera upgrades. You do get stealth upgrades, but getting closer to animals is something you require a bit of XP for. I still think $5 for the base game is pretty decent, even if you're only going to treat it like a wildlife simulator. I remember when I first got this game, I would open the game to fall asleep just because I loved having certain maps open on the main menu and just listening to things walk past. Even now, just hearing all the animals. The absurdly loud ones when they flap away. The less absurdly loud ones from a distance when they scream at you. And then all the ambient animals you never actually see. It does so much right. And I don't think I'm unhappy supporting the game, even with its dwindling content. Because it still gives you so much of what you want. It's not like it's taking anything away of super important value. But it's just that icing on the top that's becoming more thin. The cake's still there. Still gorgeous. Still beautiful. Audio design is beautiful. And they're giving it pretty core engine updates actually over time too. Goose. I don't know if that was the right goose or not, but I'm gonna be annoyed if that was. I think that's just how I'm gonna phrase it though. I lament the icing getting more thin over time. That being said, Finland came with a little extra bit. It was quite... Even if it's nothing but a checklist, it's at least something. I just need that something. Doing one quest and then shelving the DLC questline seems so lackluster. Even if they're brilliant stories like the Mississippi Acres questline. It just left me wanting more. That was the saddest part, specifically about Mississippi Acres, was that the story was so good it felt terrible to just realize there's no more. That it ended. We're about halfway there. I don't know. Maybe we should have got the ATV out, because this is quite a trek. And I need to try and figure out where those goose went. Because if they are bean goose, that's 50% of what's left on our checklist. I got a lot of photos today. I think only less than half a dozen are actually memorable. I am gonna be annoyed if that was the right goose. Oh, there'll be more. Technically, we did snap a photo of it, we're just not actually sure if it captured through the trees. That goose, but they're not the right goose. Like, oh, this stuttering is getting a bit bad though every time I take a photo. I wonder why. The fact that camera sometimes freezes the game, and the stuttering you get after taking a certain amount of photos, I'm not actually sure if there's a reason for that. I don't think the game doesn't have an in-game screenshot reader. Rabbits that haven't thumped. Right? Looks like a place a rabbit would graze. Alright, we're gonna blanket hope there's one here. Ah! Mechanical knowledge. Who's so scummy? Is that it? There is one here. I want to get a good. There's poop. Could whistle, so then we only get one chance at the photo. Normally you see that air, the ears. The hair, you normally see the ears. I don't see anything. They're definitely in the field in front. I just don't see them. I don't know if they're hiding. I've never seen rabbits hide in the game before. Normally, by the time you stomp up on them, like I just did, they usually thump their feet run off too. Hear them. There's one in that grass patch over there, but I do not see it. A little further. Yeah. Where the sound's coming from. I can't see them in the slightest. I don't know, I'm not blind, am I? I just whistle and look for movement. They're close enough that the photo got them. So they're here somewhere. Alright, let's try. Oh. I didn't even move from the whistle. Were they sneaking away this whole time? I mean, we got the photo of the random patch where they were hiding. Else immediately changes into a different tree. Right? Mountain hare. What they were doing? That's a trot. So they were alarmed. They heard me rock up. They were alarmed. My whistle probably didn't help then, because they were probably already so far gone. Still hear them! Show yourself, I want a proper photo. Gumming the cave mechanics doesn't make me feel satisfied. Or at the very least, maybe I could just snag whatever they were doing here. Let's grab the need zone. Oops. Grab the need zone. Continue on our way. We only have a goose now. A photo of every animal. Once we collect the... Back to the truck. We got what we came for. I've got a couple of photos of rabbits before. A slight bit of shame that that's how I got the scrapbook entry. Would have been nice to actually be able to claim a proper photo. With all the dodgy photos I have too, I've got an inclination to actually try and make a scrapbook out of it, because some of them are just terrible. I've got photos in places of just goose. Shots of the sky with goose in the air. That's a truck. Oh, we're actually... Okay. It's not the first time I've done that too. I've got shots of just tree line where it's flagged. Some of these birds in the photo. I feel like there was a moose drinking zone over there that we scared them off. We've got so many moose in the area, honestly. What was the animal the guy said was introduced to the area and has now become a pest? No, no, different piece of media actually. That wasn't even this guy. I was actually thinking of Vention in the UK. Since all of the Vention, I don't know what breed, since all of the natural predators for Vention were removed, bears being one of them, it's now become a pest in and of itself. Speaking of, oh, no, say a whitetail. Not a whitetail. When the goose hiss? They developed that skill. That's something I knew them for. A goose that hisses. Can't tell. There's so many leaves coming over that tree. I have no idea where it was, but we're gonna keep going. I genuinely thought that was a whitetail. I'm surprised it wasn't. Meat zone. Hey Rose, welcome in. Oh, hey. Whoa. It's bear? No. Apparently Lynx is a predator. Carnivore. Interesting. Left behind quite a mess. What on earth was a lynx hunting that's the size of itself? Oh. Bean goose. No. There was I was about to joke. You could add any food type to the end of that. Bean goose soup, bean goose stew, bean goose broth. You named the goose Bean. That's just not fair. You watch, it was some scientist with a sense of humor because it's the only goose that isn't edible. Got a poisonous gland or something, that's why they called it Bean. How have I been? I've been well. We've spent what'll likely end up being 4 hours hiking today. Close as I can get to the real thing, even despite being as rural as I am. You can't really go hiking on farmland. So, I lease out my adventures this game instead. And honestly, Finland has been one of the better realized aspects of hiking I think I've seen in a video game. They even give you hiking trails. I did the blue hiking trail yesterday offline, which unfortunately was the entire main storyline of Finland beaten. Well, you've got side content now, but it's all lists. just a checklist. It's like a shopping list. The things. Yeah, I won't go into it again. I've already ranted about it. It's still giving you fine product for what you're paying. Not coming short. It's just the icing on top keeps getting thinner. Finland, again, I will repeat myself a little bit. Finland does have a little bit more icing than normal though. Because the past 3 DLCs prior to Finland was just the main questline, and that was it. Once the main questline was over, you just drop dead. Never talk to ever again. No quest content whatsoever to motivate you to go exploring. So Finland's at least giving you a checklist, hoping that it takes you around to your own self-motivated tour of the place. Oh my word! That's not a raccoon at all! That is a dog! Terrifying! This whole time I've been imagining a tiny little possum thing. Okay, right, well. Good thing he's going that way. We'll let him do that. I thought that was a deer! I didn't think that was a raccoon dog. Good lord, okay, well there's you go. The first time I've ever seen one, apparently. Massive, look at him go. Impressive. This whole time to think I've been walking around with those following behind me. Not terribly far away, or think that is totally arresting. Come on. Well, Finland has some scary raccoons. Trash Panda got swole in Finland. Remind you, okay. I don't want to mess with that guy. I mean, he's probably coyote grade, so it's not like we're actually in any danger if he runs it. I just wasn't expecting to see an actual full-size wolf type thing. The name is very misleading. Someone at Finland should change that. I know, it's probably just because the face has the same printing, since that's what the icon is, but... not what you expect. Coming from Trash Pandas, you just carry that mental image of a tiny little terrorist going through your trash. Not something that rivals large dogs. And deer. Are they, like, I don't actually know much about the Scandinavian wildlife. More than just generally speaking. Is that an animal known elsewhere on the planet? has to be related to something, like with the tail that stubby. I really don't know what its genetic lineage would be. Looks like a raccoon in the face, stubby tail, size of a bobcat. Almost. We should have a lookout tower somewhere around here too. So I was led to believe. You'd like a tail, not a stubby one, but a strong kangaroo one you could attack with and balance on. I remember, like, I was in junior high, and there was all of these weird pseudoscience news reports coming out. They weren't televised, but I just kept hearing non-stop in junior high about how humans were meant to have a tail. People kept pulling out all these articles from scientist XYZ about how humans... I don't know why that just randomly crossed my memory. I've never heard it since either. I have no idea if this was like before I realized that The Onion was satire, or they were just pulling out prank articles. But yeah. I think even one of them had a video of a guy doing an interview. But again, that's, you know, with The Onion. Anything's possible. Ooh. The only reason I don't know, like, the fact they disappeared off the face of the planet is where I'm just like... I don't know if they were all parody things or not. Right, so down south is where that boat is, so... I don't know if we have... There might be a house over here. We'll probably be heading over there next on the way to... This one? You know what? No. We've done enough hiking today. I think when we get to the outpost past this lookout tower, we'll probably switch over if Sparkle and Wimpy are still going to 7 Days to Die. We only have the one animal left though. We need a bean goose. I don't know what a bean goose sounds like, but if I hear a goose, we've got... We'll see if we can find anything from Lookout Tower. I don't know if my whistle will be strong enough to make anything take flight. I know sprinting... A couple of the mechanics that are known, because they're so easy to tell. I think sprinting creates noise in about a 200-yard radius. Firing a rifle should make everything run away, regardless of range. Although I feel like there are times where... Moose. I feel like there are times where animals are just on the, like, edge of the spawn radius, where they don't hear your shots, and they just sort of stand around a bit confused. Was that not a moose? That might not have been a moose. That was not a moose. It was a brown bear. Honestly, the fact I got that close before he heard me, I'm surprised he didn't run at me. We got so close, I genuinely am surprised he didn't run at me. That's an animal. No, that's a log. That's a moose. No, again, brown bear. Not doing too good with my call-outs today. No. Pretty sure. I get why the signpost is that high. Because it's meant to loom over the hiking trail marker, but someone didn't tell the guy nailing the pole into the ground that it'll never be fixed. To be fair, stuff like that does give the game a little bit of charm. The Finnish tradition of leaving everyone's rear boot of the car open. Oh god. Put away one of the cars and run the animals over. At least now you're sort of a bit more safe in vehicles. I remember years ago, if you got on the ATV, you could have rabbits kill you because they did contact damage. So if you ran into a rabbit on the ATV, it would just do X amount of contact damage. So you could roadkill a deer or a fox or anything, and it just, you would take the damage and fall over dead. That's a moose. There you go. I got one right eventually. Alright, so there's no boatyard here. I think what we're gonna find is over here is gonna be a house. And that's where we're gonna head over and end the stream, or end Hunter at least. But it made sense with the bigger animals. Like if you're on a tiny little ATV and you run into a moose, it kinda makes sense you are the one getting trampled in that sense. But it was just amusing seeing the same rules applied all the way down to tiny fox. Little tiny raccoons over in Mississippi Acres for a while, I believe. But now, you can even hit small deer and not take damage, because your hitbox seems to be a lot more generous in your favor when you're on the ATV. Almost like you're hovering above the ground, so you actually have to be trampled. I knew it! I called it. There's a house over there. Right, so we'll head east, hike over to that house. We'll continue the White Trail hiking point some other day. That's a goose. I did say I gotta keep an eye out for goose. Where are you going? Can't believe I ignored a goose. That's 2 goose now I've missed. Murphy's Law says that... Wait. Oh, maybe it wasn't the bean goose we need, because that's a grey lag goose hissing at us down there. Murphy's Law normally does say everything that can go wrong will go wrong, so the moment I don't snap a photo of a goose, you know it's going to be a bean goose. It's the rabbit from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Sadly, one of the only reasons I know about that is because I think that was a reference in Minecraft for a short while. Why did they throw that thing like a hand grenade in? Over the edge of a castle palisade or something. Then everyone inside the castle was just murdered. I think that's the only scene I know. Well, I'm gonna sprint at the one that hissed. In case they mix. You're not the bean goose. With grey lag. We need the bean goose. I don't know. I've not seen much waterfowl just casually. Oh. Not seen much waterfowl like that. There's a moose going to drink. Normally you see waterfowl just resting about, doing bird things. Not once have I seen that. It's a proper drinking zone. At a lake. Very popular. Accidentally put my epilepsy camera on and flicked around. Well, let's head over to this house and call it over there. Goose is the last thing on the menu, though. It's bean goose. Alright, so we have to go... There's the tower, so this is the way we need to continue. Tracking like this through the maps isn't terrible either. If you have all the highlight nonsense, you'll see every single need zone within a 100-yard radius. You walk around, you'll just see grass sticking up over there and you go, oh, that's a feed zone. You'll see flat grass over there and you go, oh, that's a rest zone. You can just run over and collect them all. Even without that though, it's not too difficult to run across places. There's disturbed foliage, but I can't. And where the goose would have been. And try and find the next track. That's what it was doing. More importantly. No. No track. That looks like it should be a feeding zone. That's that way. Put grass here. Sure. Obviously, when you're getting into the game, it is in. Oh, it's a raccoon dog. Was another raccoon dog. I can't get away from these dogs. They follow me as much as I follow them. Half the tracks I find are theirs. Considering until today I didn't even know what one looked like. Until half an hour ago I didn't know what they looked like. Until today I'd never even run into one. But when you have the highlights on, it's infinitely easy to track things. The fact you can do it without them though. The fact you can actually tell what you're tracking, where it's been. Just squished grass here that I can't detect. There's something there. Where's it going? The only problem is when you're actually tracking without any of the highlights on, sometimes the animals do just jump between spots. It's kind of the difference between an animal, like right now, I'm physically walking forward. If I walk forward, you'll see behind me I squish all my grass. I can do a circle, and then all the grass will squish. So that's my tracks. Animals do the same thing, but it's almost like when they're outside of your vision, they just don't squish the grass anymore, and they just leave the track marker. The track marker is the thing you can detect. It's the thing that looks like their footprints. It looks like squished grass. That's what you walk up to when you normally highlight. But usually, they squish the grass between those tracks. That's the whole thing you can actually track them with. But I guess once they're outside of a certain range, they don't actually squish the grass anymore. I guess because you can see the animals before you see the grass. Like all the way over here, the grass disappears. So I guess if the animals trample grass that hasn't loaded in yet, it doesn't trample, is what I assume. But it makes it a bit annoying. I'll put my phone away, there we go. It makes it a tiny bit annoying when you have to sort of guess which direction they went. If you find poop, you will never actually know what direction to go. If you find footsteps, you... Same for most other forms of, disturbed foliage. Track. Give you a direction. Either on the hunter mate or visually. Gooses now. Oh, there is another time where I actually do give up and turn on the highlights again, which is when there's a herd so massive that you have no chance, because they would trample each other's tracks. And the reason that it is weighted, that whole system is weighted against you, because the animal you take the shot at first, if you are hunting, the animal that gets hit is the one that runs away first, which means all of the other animals in that herd trample everything you want to find. You have no chance. So you can go for hundreds of yards at a time without finding a single track. But if you have the highlights on, you'll see 100 yards ahead is your next coloured highlight of the animal you're actually tracking. There are times like that where it really does seem a bit poorly favoured towards the highlights being the only way to track an animal. There is a bit of intuition to it though. Animals do rarely change direction, unless prompted. If an animal calms down, it's likely to change direction. If an animal is scared, it's likely to change direction. Certain interactions like that. 3. You're not as big as I thought. Maybe you're a tiny one or a different animal. Who knows? It was. Okay, that was a lynx. That was not a dog. Oh, there was also a dog in the area too. So, could have been either one. Yes, it might have been a lynx. It looks smaller. I mean, I've never heard any of them make noises while they run away. I'm still not seeing any waterfowl in the area. I think the best I can hope for is loading in next time, since I'm next to a lake, and just unlocking into getting bean goose. You might cut across here too. There's no reason to take the path hopping around. I don't think... You've got like kind of a cliff face here on the map. I think we can get around it just a little bit with a curve. You can see it through there. That's the rock faces. So we'll head just a little bit north. Go off track. We'll set up camp over here at the house. Now, in light... the trail said that there was a fireplace out here as well as an outpost. So this could be a genuine camp up this hill. I don't know if it's actually an outpost or if it's just a small lumber camp. The lumber camps are quite pretty, actually. And it's the first time we've been able to have a fast travel place without a flagpole attached to it. I will need a short break though, before we switch over to 7 days. I'll have to go take a restroom break and stretch my legs for a little bit. I am out of tea. I don't think I need a third cup of tea, but maybe we go get a third cup of tea. I'll have to check. I can just boil the kettle while I'm out stretching my... Ooh. Well, proper outpost. Let's get sorted. But this is where we're gonna call it for Hunter today. I mean, not a small... Like, what we did is kind of just sightseeing, walking around. Not really a whole lot, but we've trekked quite a fair way. We started all the way over here on the east coast. Just after we took that boat ride yesterday. Came all the way down south. We accidentally walked halfway home. And I think we came back through this trail. And we're gonna finish here. Next time I'm on, stream or not, I don't know, we'll head back up through this, whatever this is, to this outpost here, which will take a bit of trekking through the wilderness. Take the boat across, and then I kind of want to take that path back to the west, all the way up and around. But I need a quick break. I'm actually really desperately needing to go to the restroom, so I'll leave the game running. A bit of a scene, shall we? Stare at that? No. What can we stare at? Put the hands in the way! We'll stand up straight. We'll stare over there. As the sun sets, I need to take a quick break. I am actually busting to go, so we'll be back in a short while with 7 Days to Die. Alrighty. I am back. So, as mentioned, I think that's gonna be it for Hunter. Technically, 4 hours is a whole daylight cycle. We started at 5 in the morning. Every hour is 4 in-game hours. So 4, 8, 12, 16. I think? Or is it 2 hours? Is it 1 to 2? I forget if it's 1 real-life hour is 2 in-game hours or 4. I think it's 4, but that seems like too many hours in the day. Let's have a look, because we did reset. No, we did reset, actually, so that might be right. We reset to 7 and it's now 3, so it might be the right ratio. 1 real life hour is 4 in-game hours. So we've done more than a whole day's worth of trekking around today. We've got our flag post there. So when I drop back in, it'll be right here. No goose nearby, right? Before I run away. Can I get a bean goose as my last hurrah? Are there any on the water since we've been sitting still? It would just be nice, right? This whole time we've not found a single bean goose. It would be nice. At a rock? That's a rock. I still don't see any waterfowl in the water. Ah! A mallard. There you go. The first waterfowl I found in the area. No bean. A very terrible photo of some mallard. But we'll just have to wait to finish the scrapbook some other time. We found a lot of raylag goose. So maybe heading further inland will give us a bit more different varieties of goose. I don't know. The nesting habits of all these animals are a bit of a whimsical adventure for me. I don't keep track of them all. Alright. Oh. Mission log. Alrighty. I need to fix some volume. -6. Getting some audio set up. Hear the trees taste better in Finland is such a good title. Geese. I am... Okay, the moment has passed. They're gone. I've missed my opportunity. But you have no idea how tempting that was to drop in and see if they were the right geese. No, I'm quitting. We're done. We're done. I'm done with the game. Torturing myself by seeing geese fly past. Right. So... Oh my word, what is this photo? What is that photo? Oh, it has birds in it. I just see gray. Right. Well, I'm gonna have to turn the parents. Oh. Let's find out how much I remember about this game, shall we? Eh? Why does 7 days? Oh, okay. First time Steam service. I'll allow it. Ew. Oh, it does have easy anti-cheat. Why have this registry? Right. Of data collection. If I have EAC disabled, I probably won't be able to Sparkle. We'll turn on easy anti-cheat.